we encounter an issue with our Nginx and PHP FPM setup on the Kubernetes cluster this morning, which altered its functionality. Investigate the reason to rectify that issue. The pod name is Nginx PHP FPM and config name is Nginx config. Identify the fix the problem. Once resolved, a copy home tar in index.php file from jump host. So it's the file once the index.php file is available in our jump host. So we need to copy the file to the Nginx container. Then the Nginx document root. After Nginx document root, we need to copy the file to the Nginx document root, and after this you should be able to access the website using website button. So we need to now the Nginx is a problem of 404 not found. Now we need to resolve the two tasks. After that, our Nginx file will be running correctly. First, we need to get our pod names. List out the pod. The Nginx PHP is already available. We need to get our config map list. We get before the engine, we need to know that before the config map is already available because they have mentioned one of the map name. So we need to know about the config map. So get config map. Can see the Nginx config is already running on our jump host. Now we need to describe our container names and everything, running containers, everything in our pod name. Nginx pod, can see the your Nginx container, one of container running in our pod, and also we have another container also. Both the two containers are running in our pod. So go to and the file path is available. File path also available. Then the container is running on the mount of where HTML, .HTML. Our Nginx container will be run on www. Sorry, it's wrongly mentioned. User share Nginx actually. So we need to change our container file path. So before that, we need to know about the port, IP address and everything. Nginx. This will be widely mentioned the status and everything, the IP address and everything will be there. It will be we need to know about the logs of Nginx. The log fields will be displayed on the our container. Container name should be Nginx container. These logs are running in the Nginx container, and also we need to run another container of our container. Another container name is PHP FPN container. We need to know the logs of another container name. Now FPN is running, ready to handle the connection. Okay. The another container also in running information. So we need to get a config map nginx config -YAML. Now we need to check our config is running which part in the root .html. This is our nginx is running path. So we need to change our nginx running path also in our location, in our container. So we need to change before that git path nginx config namespace default git path nginx php fpm. This is our code name. So now we start the file. Our pod was created. Pod.yaml. We need to edit our pod file. Because in this pod, the name of the pod, the nginx PHP pod is already running on different file path. So we need to edit our container file path in. Now you can see the containers. PHP container is running. Mount path is web.html. And then we can see here nginx container will be running on user share nginx. So the file path is mentioned wrongly. So we need to edit file path web.html. This is the correct file path. So the value mounts and mount path. This is the we need to change our file path. This is our sad file. This is our sad file path. In this correct file path only we need to declare. And after we need to save and exit the file. Now we need to delete our old pod name of nginx php fpm. This is our old pod name. Actually, we have created new pod. So we have deleted our old pod, created with PHP of Nginx PHP. Now our pod is deleted. Now we need to apply our new pod. Apply -f pod.yaml. Our pod was created right now. Now we get the status pod get pods. Now it will be running. Okay. Now we need to copy our file home.tar index.php. We have edited our file path of HTML. After we need to copy our home.php index.file to our nginx in this path. Nginx path. Nginx path. Nginx path name. After we need to give our file path. We are nginx file path. We need to give this HTML to the container name. In this container we need to render give the container name and run the command. Now our file path is copied to our address. Now we can go to the website, can check the website. Now our HTML page is running. The Nginx PHP page is running. Now our task is finished. You can see you should able to access the website using website button on the top bar. So our website is running correctly. So our task is finished. Check our task. Click on confirm. Thank you for watching.